And last but not least is Edouard Debonneuil, who will speak about the mice of man from the major mouse testing program to the major human testing program. Please, Edouard.
Okay, am I sharing my screen? Can you hear me?
Please share your screen, but we hear you, yes.
Okay, great. So, écran. Okay. It will come. Oh. Okay. Okay, so this is a quick summary of where I come from. So I started with longevity research on yeast, nematodes, and mouse lifespan, one clinical research in these institutes. And then after some time, for familial reasons, I went to finance anyway, you may know. And so I kept contact in the field through online communities. And so I've come to see a lot of them, and I wanted to continue as I could, sometime with mice in my kitchen or garage or things like that. The research sometimes was going to the labs in the evening. And so I have been always a bit between the researchers and between volunteers. And always the questions today, they were already asked in the M Prize, and there was a discussion between the Sense Forum and the Methuselah forums between mice and humans. And so this is typically what we see today, and I called it from the major mouse testing program to the major human testing program. I think today we are summarizing something that has been running for 12 years in the online communities. So the major mouse testing program, this is something we started some time ago when the big groups of volunteers in the world started to decide to do something. And so we said, okay, let's choose one project, and we decided to run a lot of mouse lifespan tests, because that's obvious, you know, what works. So here there is a link to the first decision. So we made slides. So here I remember we were working for about a year, contacting all the geneticists to know how to do a gene therapy so that it's not only for nutrients, etc. For now, it led to a crowdfunding to test a combination of neuroprotectors, and this did not go to the end because it was done in Ukraine when Russia came, so it was stopped. Another one that is done with a combination of senolytics. So all this was performed with the ILA, and but in fact heals everyone mentioned, because everybody really took part of it. And so this is ongoing. So we have a combination of senolytics that is being tested in mice, but it has started a few months ago, really, the experiment, before a long time to prepare it. And the last one is because it was difficult to raise money ourselves, and I worked with a Kenyan before in the past. I don't know if we inspired much, but they proposed to look at the slide and said, yes, we're going with JAX and with the Jackson Labs. But they are very secretive, as we know. So we know that at least some of the genetic lifespan tests are being performed there, or were being performed. So this, you know, the volunteers, they want this to happen. I myself encounter that it's actually really difficult. So sorry for those who know, it's obvious. First, it's long, 3 years. That's the time of a PhD student. You need to prepare it and have the results. So mouse lifespan tests are not easy. I took this example here. I worked on a lab specialized in DHEA, and in France, it was supposed to be the marvelous drug. A low dose did not do much on lifespan, so I tried a large dose, which is required to have some effect on pulmonary arterial hypertension. And in fact, the large dose decreases lifespan, perhaps because it's a large dose, right? So in the end, is there any good dose? I'm not sure, but it's not obvious. That's for DHEA, so I'm killing DHEA perhaps here. I tried also with Irina Pichel in Ukraine much before the invasion of Russia. I tried to inject young plasma This is when we had the first elements of signal that it may do good, but there was nothing about lifespan. And so we had people really trained to inject as much as possible in the tail veins without damaging them, and doing twice a week. It was a very complex experiment. And in the end, we did observe some changes in the immune system because we inject something, but really nothing on the lifespan and nothing on much of the observations. So is it that the two groups were good? Because in fact, we also injected quite some, saline. I don't know, but the key answer is it's complex. If you look at the literature, you do have obvious results. But clearly, if you look at all this, Spindler tested many things that don't work, and most people still do think it works, like a cinnamon, blueberry, green tea, black tea. At least he didn't succeed in making a life extension. So I just want, even rapamycin, okay, we saw 20%. I think this is perhaps started earlier in life. It's not such a great effect, but some are. But the ones we see, it's typically started, as we were saying earlier, than life with Ames dwarfism, one gene change. And so it's not very easy. So this is my short list, and today we have seen others, notably fisetin and sildenafil. Yes, so just to, I was asked to bring the two topics together. And so the second topic is what we call now the major human testing program. And so this is something new in the community now that we see that things can be really ready. And so about 2 years ago, but I prepared it a long time ago in an insurance company and before myself, I decided to try to industrialize what many people do in the field. They test themselves, but many are not well organized. So just like Martin said, basically, I'm just describing what Martin you described. And so we discussed with Martin, and we should work together in a way or another. Same with the data beta. So it started all with a French IRB to test dasatinib plus quercetin. And we thought this is very expensive. This is not going to be mainstream. So then we went to, okay, let's try strawberries for fisetin because it's good otherwise with a French chef. And after multiple, we said, okay, let's do just what Martin has proposed. And so it took us a bit of time because we made it a company. And so even if it's low cost, so it doesn't make money, but it doesn't matter. So just the time to be GDPR, to have multiple doctors, to be in multiple countries. Now we are almost ready. And when I say almost, we've thought of it a few times, so maybe in a month. And so here, this is a WhatsApp, because typically, and as an example, we don't want fake users to claim fake results for saying a drug is great. So we go through the phone, and we have multiple ways to try to check, because people can do it at home. And so similarly, if you want to either propose something to test or test, this is the entry point. You may want to take a snapshot or whatever. And so I'm a statistician before, and I entered the longevity field a long time ago and put my hands in. But we collaborate with Deep Longevity. It would be great to collaborate with the data beta, and we meet you tomorrow. So the goal is really to be able to organize low-cost clinical trials for anti-aging aspects. And so we have a wonderful scientific board. So I thank you very much, all the ones on the left, because this is a bit crazy to not go through the traditional clinical trial system. And on the right, this is the board. So a lot of you may know Paul. Less of you may know Harold and Josiah. Yes, so Josiah is a motivated web and app developer, and Harold is someone who is a bit like me. Yeah, to make it short. So we'll try to make it short, and the key point is we will soon try to start it. We already have a group of volunteers with whom we work in a closed fashion to test our methods at home, the hand grip and everything. So if you want to join, you are very welcome. And we will start once we feel we are really sufficiently ready for robust results.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Edouard.